So as we know that this OAF framework, Oracle Application Framework, is a proprietary framework from Oracle. Okay, so we have to understand what is the relationship between MVC and OAF. So MVC stands for Model View Controller, and this is called Design Pattern. And I can say this is nothing but a guideline or a theoretical concept for enterprise applications or framework design or framework development. So what does this guideline says is, like when you're designing any enterprise framework, you have to consider this particular guideline saying that model layers is nothing but it is saying to divide your code into three layers. One is called model, and which deals about business logic. Another one is view layer, which deals about the user interface (UI), as well as the other one is called controller, which is a which, which is responsible for handling user events like a click action, click button, or maybe a button event, etc. So this is called model layer. So model layer does not give you any particular programming language, or it does not tell you which tool you have to use it. It simply tells MVC stands for Model View Controller, and when you're designing a program, when you're designing a framework, just consider that you divide your code into three layers and appropriately implement it. So it's just a guideline, and it's just a theoretical concept. It does not have any physical, it does not have any tool or any libraries to support that. So MVC does not tell about any programming language. A framework is an implementation of a design pattern. This Oracle Application Framework is an implementation of MVC, and this OA framework is having all the required tools to work on the MVC. The tool which we use is Jdeveloper is a tool which we use for the purpose of OAF pages, and this Jdeveloper IDE is having the supported libraries, and it is also having supported UI elements, okay, which are necessary for designing the pages. So as a developer, we just use OA framework to design the pages. And this OA framework has implemented this MVC layer in its own way. So this model layer is implemented using a technology, or maybe using a library. I can say it's called BC4J. It's called BC4J, Business Components for Java. And this view layer is implemented using a technology called UIX, User Interface for XML. And this particular CO layer is implemented using a technology called OA Controller API, OA Controller Implementation. And this particular model layer is again a very much complex layer and is very much important for the developers to work on. This model layer is divided into three layers: application module, view object, as well as entity object. So technically we'll see each and every layer, because I'm just telling you now theoretically only, but technically we'll see each and every layer, and each and every layer will write the coding. So then you'll get more understanding. Initially it is very difficult to understand each layer, because pictorially we cannot, we cannot think of how exactly these layers correspond in our development. If we can, so one simple example I can tell you. So you work on the RDF reports, right? RDF reports.
Yes.
Okay. One simple example is in the RDF report we have two layers, right? One is data model and other one is layout, isn't it? Correct?
Yeah.
So data model, you can consider it as your model layer where you will design the business logic. And the layout is nothing but your UIX, new layer. That is what it is. So in the OAF I have three layers, in the RDF reports we have two layers. That's the only difference. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So now what we do is we'll just start with our Jdeveloper development. So what is the software we use for the purpose of OAF design is we have to use a software called Jdeveloper, and in our case it is 10G, and it all depends upon your EBIS version. Our EBIS version is R1213, okay, and the programming language is core Java and some set of XML. XML will never code any time, but we just need to understand the XML. Okay.
Oh,
And one more thing is the design pattern. As I said you, the design pattern will not tell you any language. The framework has to use appropriate language. In our case, the OAF framework uses this core Java. The OAF uses core Java.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So in the market, like MVC is one of the MVC concept is it is used with large number of frameworks. Like it is used in ATF, it is used in Mac, even the Android mobile they use MVC, and even Angular JS they use it, and PHP they use it, and in .NET also they use it. So there are larger number of frameworks which uses MVC as a design pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this particular OAF is tightly integrated with EBIS, and it works only in the e-business environment. It is tightly integrated with EBIS and it works only in the e-business environment. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this application server which is used in the 1213 environment is your Apache server, but application server which is used in the 1224, that is WebDoc server. The latest version. Okay. Yeah. Now we'll start with our configuration. So based on our EBIS version, we have to get the appropriate software from the Oracle Metalink. Okay. So now if you observe in my case, I have got my software. This is how it looks like. The zip file. Can you see? So you'll get a zip file from Oracle with the appropriate EBIS version. You have to get the Jdeveloper software. Okay. So once you get this particular software, you just need to extract it. You just need to extract it, and it will have 3 folders in it. Now if you observe here, I have 3 folders. Can you see? This particular JDev software, I have 3 folders here. One is JDev Win binary, other one is JDev documentation, and another one is JDev home. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So in this one here, if you observe the Jdeveloper software, JDev Win will have the binary files, APIs, which are necessary for Jdeveloper to run. JDev documentation will have the documentation about OAF framework libraries, and JDev home, it is a source directory where developer will write their coding. This is a place where the developer source code is saved. This JDev home is a directory where the developer source code is saved. And now to start with the JDeveloper, now this is the information about JDeveloper software. Now to start, before starting the JDeveloper, we have to perform some configuration. So what is the configuration is? So we have to set an environment variable JDev user underscore home to appropriate location. So in our case, what we do is we'll try to navigate to JDev home and go to JDev. In this one, just create a directory, and just create a directory with your name, right? So now I'll copy this location and I'll set this environment variable. So now what you do is go to the start my computer properties, my computer properties, advanced environment variable. Okay, I have already one more thing. I just renamed that. So I'll just create a new one now. JDev user home and just set it to this location. Set it to this location. Click on OK and OK. Now, what the next thing is, now we have to start our JDeveloper. So already started. So there is a file called jdev.exe that is available in jdev bin folder. So this is the location of the exe file. Can you see jdev.exe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a file you have to use it for the purpose of running out Jdeveloper. You can create a shortcut on the desktop. So I'll just run this file. Now, okay, this is a file. It will take some time to start it. Where to start it? Okay. So it is asking us whether you want to
Yeah.
uh, migrate from your previous version. Just click on no. So our Jdeveloper is ready now. And the next thing is, again, we have to do some more settings here. So what are the settings we have to do now is, so we have to create a database connection. So yeah, right here. So in the Jdeveloper, the first thing is create a database connection and schema. Okay, this is the first thing you have to do. So what we do is, after starting Jdeveloper, just click on this connection navigator. One minute. Okay, it's not showing now, right? I just close it. Click on View and click on Connection Navigator. And here, expand the database. And here in the database, right click here and click on New Database Connection. Okay. So click on Next. Mike, is it okay? Hello.
Hello. Yes, I hear you. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now mention the connection name. I'll just say apps connection. Click on next. Mention the apps username password. Apps and apps. Mention the PMS entry details. And it is always you require SID, not the service name. It requires only SID. So you have to mention SID. Click on next and test the
Yeah.
connection. It has to be successful. Yeah. And finish. So the connection got created, and the next setting what we have to do is we have to just click on tools and default project properties. Okay, tools and default project properties.
Okay.
Click on this one and click on Oracle application. Okay, click on database. Just
Mm-hmm.
check this box and select the connection we created just now. Okay,
Yeah.
and click on run options and click on check the diagnostics box. Okay, and the other one is finally one is runtime connection. Here what we have to do is we have to get the DBC file. So now what I'll write is here. So first of all, get the DBC file from FND secure. In the FND secure block, you have to get the DBC file, and that file has to be saved in the local machine. So what we do is you go to your middle dial
Mm-hmm.
Unix box. Okay. Now find out the FND secure. Okay. It is not top. It is just FND secure.
Yeah.
Okay. It's location. Yeah. And maybe in your working environment, you may not have access to this particular location. You have to ask your DBA to get the file. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we get the file and just save the file in the JDev home, JDev DBC file location in the separate folder.
Yeah.
So we have to copy this particular file to this location. The file is already copied, so I'll not recopy again. Okay, this has to match. From this location, we have to copy to our this location.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the location which we have to copy. And now just select the file from this particular location.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Now click on browse and select the file. And here in the username, mention the username operations, welcome, and mention the responsibility which is available for this user. For this user, I have a responsibility called application developer. So I'll just mention on my application developer name, application developer key, and the application short name of this particular mentioned responsibility. So I'll go with that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the next setting is
So
now.
your username, Sridhar,
Yeah.
your username there was your application login, was it?
Yes, it has to be application login. Yes, correct. It's application login.
Okay. Okay. That's yeah.
Yeah. So the next, then there's yeah, we just created our configuration now. The next setting is to create our files, to create our samples. So here in the developer hierarchy, it follows a particular hierarchy. The first thing is we have to create a Java workspace, and the next thing is we have to create a project, and then we have to create our package, and then the files here. So for the creation of a workspace and a project, there is no standard naming convention, and it is not mandatory. You can have any name. So Java, this particular framework, will not validate whether it's correct or not. You can have any name there. But for the package or files, we have to go with strict naming convention. So what we do is, so for the package, what is the naming convention we have to go with is, we have to just go with this particular hierarchy. The first one is client name dot oracle dot apps, and any valid application top name. It can be custom top name or seeded top name, followed by server. This is for the purpose of application module as well as demo as well as unit. Okay.
Okay.
And dot web UI is for the purpose of pages, regions as well as events.
Mm-hmm.
And schema dot server is for the purpose
SG.
of entity objects. And final one is LOB server is for the purpose of LOB.
Mm-hmm.
Complex dot server is for the purpose of population. So this is a package structure. Okay. Now what we do is let's create a workspace now. Go to Jdeveloper, and if you observe the directory which we created with your name, and can you see a directory called system.created here, system folder? This got automatically created when we start our Jdeveloper. And this is a place where our all the settings are getting stored. The configuration what we have done just now. All the configuration got stored in this particular folder. And now the files which we create now, the workspace, project, package, and all the things will get created in this folder only now. Okay. Now go to JDeveloper, and on the application, perform a right click and click on New OA Workspace. They have to make sure that you have to click on New OA Workspace only. If you click on the other options, it will not work properly. It will not create your Java, your OAF related frameworks, OAF related pages. You have to go with New OA Workspace only. Why? Because this JDeveloper is a software not only for the purpose of OAF, we have other things to work on it also, like Web Center, ATF, SOA, JSP, servlets. There
Yeah.
are lot number of things which we can use JDeveloper for that. So right click on the application here, click on OA workspace, and here you can mention your appropriate workspace name. And if you observe here, it is automatically creating a folder called My Projects. In the folder My,
Yeah.
it is automatically creating that particular folder. So we should not change that one. We have to go with the default option in the directory section. The name, if you want, yes, we can change the name. As let us say OAF training workspace. So this is my workspace. I have the file extension called JWS. Just go with the default. Don't change that. And it is also having an option called add a new project. Yes, it should be there. And just click on OK
Mm-hmm.
now. Now it is going with the wizard option. Click on next. And here it is asking what is your project name. I'll say OAF training project. Okay. And in the default package, nothing to give. And in the directory structure, nothing to change. Just go with the default and click on next. And
Mm-hmm.
it is providing all the default information which you created already. We
Yeah.
have already set our default project property, right? We have already set our default
Mm-hmm.
project property, so we does not need to recreate it again. We just need to just check it and just click on next and finish. Click on next,
Mm-hmm.
and it is setting it up, or it is and it is providing the information properly. So I can go with next. That's it. Now just click on finish and just check it out how many things will get created now. And if you go to your folder, can you see my project is getting created, my HTML is getting created.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So just wait for some time because it takes some time to generate the list of files. There are some set of files which will be generated automatically. And this happens only for first time, not every time.
Yeah.
And yeah, so let's start with our package structure. Now we created our workspace and we created a project also. These two things are done. Now we have to create our package as well as files. Okay. So now which naming convention, like what is the name you want to use for a client name? You have anything in mind? Can you mention any client name?
Uh, Fuji. Fuji. Fuji.
Sorry?
You can just type Fuji. Fuji. Short for Fujitsu.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just go with this way. I'll have a prefix with XX. Okay. Now I'll just go with this way. On labs and application short name. I don't have any custom top. I'll just go with the seeded top name called FND dot server.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So now what you do is on the project, there come a right click, and it's the first time we are creating our pages, so we have to create our data model, nothing but our business layer, nothing but our model layer in the first. So nothing but we have to create our application module in the first. So it's like nothing but similar to your RDF report. When you create RDF report, you have to design your data model first. In the same way, when you design your OAF pages, the model layer has to be designed first. So in the model layer, the parent component is application module. So application module has to be designed first. So right click on this project here, right click here, click on new, and here in the business file, we have an option called ADF business component. Select this one, and we have a item called application module. Okay, so the category is ADF business component, and the item is application module. You just need to click on OK here. So now it is it will validate the database connection which you created here. Just click on OK. Again click on OK. So now once it validates everything, once it validates and everything is okay, then it will come to the next result. So now just click on next here, and in the package, can you observe here the package? So just mention the package structure which we thought of working here. Mention the package structure here. Okay, and here we have to mention the application module name. So what I will do is I just mention QC business services AM with the suffix AM. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the package structure associated with this is the one xxqt.orglabs fnd server. And the package structure should be all small case. This is what we follow. And the class name, in the class name, what we do is generally each word should be uppercase. Each word should be uppercase. So I can just go with this FEJI like this. Okay. Every word should be uppercase.
Yeah.
And click on next. And here is nothing to change. You just simply click on finish. Now it will generate the application module, right? Now the application module is available here at this place. In application sources, yeah, with appropriate hierarchy which we mentioned. And the same file is created in your folder. The same file is created in the folder mine. So go to my projects, and can you observe here? We have the workspace, we have the project, and we also have the XXPG folder. XXPG, Oracle, apps, FND, server. Can you see all the files?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next thing is we want to create our page. So for the pages we have to use the directory structure with web UI. So this is for the application module, and for the pages what we have to do is we have to go with description naming convention web UI. So click on go to the project, you right click on the project here, click on new OA components and page and OK. And now here we have to mention our page name. I'll go with hello world page, and practice texture I'll mention this one. Okay. Now it will create an XML file.
Yeah.
It will create an XML file. Why? Because the view layer of the OA framework is designed using UX concept, and the file will be with a .xml fashion. So just click on OK now. So it will create. Can you see? It is creating an XML file now. It just create an XML file. So this is the file which is relevant for the view layer. So we have to set some properties on this layer. Why? Because when we create a page, we have to link, we have to provide some information about the application module. Without application module, the page will not run. So what we do is just click on the page, and we have an option. We have a page texture below here. Just click on this region 1. So when we create a OAF page, the first high-level component which got created in the OAF page is the page layout region. So there is a region called page layout. Can you observe here? Page layout. So this is the top level region of the OAF framework. This is the top level region which is available in the OAF page. So it is always preferable to name it as main region. And the next thing is we have to set the aim definition. So the aim which you created, we have to bind to our page. So just click on this option and bind the aim to this particular page. I have to select our appropriate application module here, click on OK, and after that we have to set the window title as well as page title. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now it is good to run our page. Right click on the page and simply run it. Click on run. Click on yes. Okay, got it? So we could see our page now, right? In the top level,
Yeah.
the top component which is showing the window title, and here it is showing a page title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we do is, as of now, we have just seen a very simple sample which involved only application module as well as page. There are two components which got involved just now, right? And now we just
Yeah.
design some more samples to involve the different set of components. What we do is now we'll design a page, So handle button and display a welcome message for the user. Okay. Now what we do is we'll design a page and also with a text input box where we'll type the user name, and when the user clicks on a button, it will display a welcome message with the name which user has entered in that particular box. So what are the layers involved now is it will involve in the model layer, it involves application model as usual always, and the view layer it involves your I'll say button event page, and in the CO MVC in the CO layer it involves button event C. Okay. So now what we do is we'll design one more sample to work on this particular requirement. Okay. So the application model will not repeat every time. Application model will not repeat every time. You just use the existing one. Okay. So go to Jdeveloper and here in the web UI. So you can perform right click at the project level or at the package level. Either way it will work. You can right click at the project level or package level. So just perform a right click on the web UI package level and click on new OA components and page. So I'll just see my page name as button event page. My page got created here and set the default properties as we just said earlier also, main region, aim definition and window title as well as page title. Button event sample. And now what we have to do is, so the EM is already available, so we'll not do any change, and we need to create our controller. So on the main region, perform a right click on set new controller. So it will provide an option to mention the class name as well as the package name. So here there's one bug here. It always shows the WebGI 2 times. Just remove it once. And the next thing is here we have to mention our controller name. So the controller name is always similar to a page name but with a suffix CO. The page is having a suffix PG and this controller always should have a suffix CO. It's just a naming convention. You can have any names, but it is general practice in the Java. We follow the standard naming conventions which are provided by Oracle. So just click on OK now. Yeah, so it created a Java file. It automatically created a Java file with some set of initial coding. Okay. So we'll get into this later, but first of all, let's finish our page. So just click on the page now. On the main region, we just require two items. One is text input box, and another one is a submit button. So on the main region, so whatever the component which we create later, by default, our page will have the page layout region, and whatever the component which we create, that becomes the children of the main region. Okay. So now what we do is perform a right click on the main region and click on new item. We want to create a text input box. Okay. So I'll change the item ID here and the visual prompt enter username, and the other thing what I'll change is in the main region I'll create one more item, new item, and here this time the item style should be submit button. Item style should be submit button. Just scroll down and check the appropriate option called submit button, and here I'll just say click. And the visual prompt also. Okay. Got it? Now, I have not, as of now, we have not written any coding. Let's run the page and see how it looks like. Then we'll write the code. So run the page, right click on the page, and just click on run. Okay, got it? You're able to see the two components, right?
Okay.
One is text input box, another is a submit button. So the next thing what we do now is, so here we have to write the coding. right? Because when you click on a button here, now there is no response, right? It will not display any welcome message, or it will not even give any error. Why? Because there is no listener who is listening to this particular event. So we have to write the coding to handle this particular logic to listen to the event. So what we do is we have to go to the controller. So here, if you observe carefully, so this is the class name, button event zero. Let me increase the font. Right? So this is the class name button event zero, and this class is automatically created with the two methods inside it. One is process request, and other one is process form request. It is almost similar to your triggers in the RDF report. In the RDF report, you have the pre-form and like post-form trigger. Right? We have 5 triggers before parameter and after parameter. The same way, we also have this particular event to listen to the appropriate event. These particular methods to listen to the events. So this particular process request method will be called during page load. This particular method is called during page load, and the other method called process form request will be called after page load, or I can say at runtime. At runtime during events. So in our case, we have a single button event, right? We have an event called button event. So now, what is our button ID? So if you just click on the page, and we have this particular button ID, right? Click. Click is our button ID. What we do is we want to handle the button event. So what is the logic? What is this particular framework as the API is? What is the way we have to capture the button is? Whenever user clicks on a button, automatically the page context object. So we have an object called page context object
Mm-hmm.
which stores a value about the button, about that particular button. So based on the ID, we can capture what is the appropriate component which is created event. The first thing is what is the component it raised an event and using which we can handle the event. Now in our case, our component button, whenever user clicks on a button, automatically an event will be created in the page context object. So we just need to work on the page context object to handle the button event. So what we do is we just need to write a logic for if page context dot get parameter, and we have to mention our button ID. So whenever user clicks on a button, the page context object automatically captures a parameter with the name click.
Okay.
And if it is not equal to null, and what we want to do is we want to raise a welcome message. So for raising a welcome message, we have to use an API called OAF exception, welcome message. So I just type in my class name. So when you just type the class name, it will automatically ask you to import appropriate package structure here. So it does not need to remember the package structure, but we have to remember the class name. So the class name is a OA exception, and the API name is it's automatically showing for us. Just click on Alt Enter. That's it. Now just to write the appropriate information now. New OA exception.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. OA exception dot information. That's it. And we have to throw this one. Throw welcome message. Okay. Now next thing is just
Okay.
run the page. Just run the page. Just click on this button. Got it?
Cool.
So now our page is handling our button, isn't it? The page is handing out the button. But what about this particular information? Just click on this button here. So now there is no relevance, right? So it is not capturing the username. It is just displaying the welcome
Mm-hmm.
message, but
Yeah.
it is not capturing the username which we entered. So to capture that
Mm-hmm.
information also, we have to write some other extra logic. So what we do is we just need to go to our Jdeveloper and let's see how to capture that. So what is the text input ID? Item style. This text input ID is username ID. So using this particular ID, we have to capture the message, capture the information. what we do is, it's very easy here. Just write a variable called string, username str is equal to, again the page context dot get parameter, and you just mention the text input ID. That's it. Now this text input ID, using this particular text input ID, we can get what is the value which entered by user in this particular text input box. So now this username str is having the appropriate value which is entered by the user. I just change my message now. Welcome to user plus the username. That's it. Got it?
Yeah.
Now let's run it. Got it?
Okay.
Right. So this is how we can capture the event. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And as we discussed earlier also, we have a lot number of events. So this is one of the very easier event to capture it. Okay. We also have a different set of events like hyperlink event, icon event. There are different types of events.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we do is, so before discussing more on the events, we can just discuss. Okay. Either way. So so far what we have discussed, are you okay with this or do you have any doubts?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So we'll design about few more pages. Design a page to handle hyperlink event and image icon event. Okay. So the same thing again. So we have to design our model layer and view layer and receiver. Okay. So I'll just create a page because aim is already there, so I'll not recreate the aim. So in the web UI, just create a new, click on new page and mention the page name and click on OK. So as of now, we are not writing a major Java coding because it's a very simple thing, but later on we'll be writing some sort of complex Java coding. Let's set the default properties here. Okay. Now set the controller also. So in the event sample page, what we do is we just want to handle the hyperlink event as well as the image event. So on the main region, perform right click here, click on new region. This time you want to create a region. Okay, new region, and I will set it as, and set the information as hyperlink region. And now perform a right click on hyperlink region and just click create new item. And here set the item style as link. Set the item style as link. Okay. Now I'll just save
Yeah.
and website link. So there are different ways of creating hyperlink. So in the OAF framework, what we can do is when we click a link, we can navigate to a normal website, we can navigate to OAF page, or we can dynamically set. We can also dynamically write a coding to navigate to different page at runtime based on the appropriate business
Yeah.
logic. Now initially we just see a simple link to navigate to a normal website, http://www.google.com, and target frame I'll just say underscore blank, and visual text I'll just say that Google website. Okay. Now in the hyperlink region I'll create one more item, the same thing with the link type, or a page link. So in the destination page, you have to mention the OAF page link, right? The destination page. So what we do is run the button event page and copy the location of it, and I'll just mention that particular page path. What to do is, so here we have page path. Can you see? Copy this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not required everything, but here what we do is OA.js is required, and after that we just remove all these things till the page, till page is equal to. Yeah. So this is our page path now. So copy this one and go to Jdeveloper, and in the event sample page on the OA page link on the destination URI, I just need to mention this one. That's it. So in the vision text, I just mention my button event OA. Okay. So now one more thing is the final one is the event. So on the hyperlink, I'll create one more item. You can use the link again. So here I'll say event. Okay. Now what we want to do is we just want to, as of now we don't want to navigate to some other page, but we just want to handle the hyperlink. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have a property called fire action. On this one, in the client action, set the fire action property, and here the event type, event name we have. This might have the appropriate event name. I'll say link underscore event is my event name. So how do we handle this? We have to write extra logic now. So the earlier logic which you have written for the button will not work here. You have to write a different logic here. So our event name is link underscore event. So this is the logic we have to write it now to handle the link event. Okay. So if event name str is not equal to null, and if this equals to our link event, if this equals to our link event, we can say user strip another link. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Now let's run the page and see how exactly it works. Right? So we could see three things, three hyperlinks. One is Google website and the OA page link as well as the link event. So just click on the Google website link. Now can you see? It is opening and it is opening
Uh,
this particular page in another window. Now try for the other one.
okay.
Just click on the button event OS page. Just click on this one. It will navigate to the OS page, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now click on back. Now just click on the last one, the link event. It has to handle the link event. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the different ways where we can handle the event. Okay. And another one is the other event is icon event. So what we do is here in the page, I'll just create one more region here. New region. See what is the purpose of creating a region is if you observe here, it is showing a particular blue color line, right? That is the only purpose of creating a region. If we create the header region, it will create a thick blue color line where we can divide our page into a set of regions. link event. Okay. So now what we do is, sorry, this is not a link event, it's a icon image or icon. Okay. So in the icon region, what we do is just right click here and click on new item and change the item style to image. Change the item style to image. But when you change the item style to image, from where we get the images is, see, it will automatically, like when we create our JDeveloper, when you create a project, automatically there are a set of files which got generated, and it will also have a set of images. So in the JDev home, JDev, and in the directory my, and here we have a directory called my.html. In the OA media, we have the large number of images which got generated automatically. And we can also have a custom image. It's not that we have to use only these images. Yes, we can have our own images also. So I'll just take this particular image, copy, and what we do is in the image, this item. So we have a property called image URL. We just set the image here at this place, image URL. I type on enable, and scroll down here, and write the logic here. Client action, we just write the file action here again. So mention the event name, and I'll say image event. Now this is a different event again. So every item will have a different way of handling it. It's not the same. So for every item you have to write different logic to handle it. So I'll take image event name here, and so I'll write the same logic here. For this one also we have to use the same logic. So only thing is I just need to mention my image name here, event name here. I'll say image or item both are same. In our case we can consider both as the same because if the image is small, we generally call it as icon, right? That's the difference. And I click here and just run the page. So can you see a small icon here? Yeah. Right? Just click on this one. It creates the image icon event. Right? So this is how we can handle the icon. So we have different events again. Now one more thing is they are working on these particular components independently, not as a part of the page, right? Not as a part of the business logic. So, but later on what we do is we try to make use of this particular logic and try to integrate with the normal project, and we'll be working on that. As of now, we are working on these particular components in an independent fashion without any appropriate business logic, right? There is no business logic involved in raising the events here. But later on, what we do is we try to have a different pages where we try to perform different business operations. Based on that, we use these events at that point of time. Okay. Mike, shall we proceed further, or so are you able to grasp? We also need to work on
Yeah, I
the
can.
sample. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming back to me. Yeah, I can understand all. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'll cover one more sample
Okay,
now. Yeah.
you can cover one more time.
So I'll cover one more sample now, and after that I'll stop.
Okay.
So what we do is the next concept is design a page, design a page to display. So Mike, which particular module are you comfortable? The ERP
Which
module.
particular module?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to put the procurement,
Procurement.
ICX page.
I see it's okay. 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 I
It
don't.
doesn't really matter, to be honest. I mean, just for the
Yeah,
example, you can do
yeah,
it.
yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just use this particular table here again. I'll just use the per people table, per people line, HRMS table.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. These are page to display HRMS employee. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to design a OAF page to display HRMS employee data. It's almost similar to your report system. It's a read-only page, right? So I don't want to perform any JML operation right now. We just want to design a simple page to display the HRMS employee data. So what we do in the model layer, we have AM, and this time we have to create our Vivo object now, the Vivo, and we have to assign this particular page. And you can consider this Vivo as similar to your cursor. Okay. And we have one more layer now, the view layer. I just need to click HRMS employee page. So I require CVO also. Without CVO, it will not display the data. Without CVO, it will not work. So first of all, create the Vivo. So make a note of this query. And so on the server package, the Vivo should be clicked on the server package. So just perform right click on the server package and click on new Vivo object here and click on next. 1 minute. I think I have selected different options. If I click here, click on new Vivo object, this one. Okay. Yeah, click on next. Yeah. Now I'll say HRMS employee data Vivo. Okay. Now click on read-only access. If you observe, there are three types of Vivos will come across. One is a read-only access, other one is updatable access, and other one is a programmatical one. So we see the three different things, but right now we want to go with read-only access. Click on next. Mention the query here. Click on next. Nothing to change. Click on next and finish. So it automatically recognizes all the columns from this query which we mentioned. And click on finish. Now what we do is we have to select the EM here. We have to select the EM and we have to select the Vivo and move it to the right side. Okay. So what we are doing is when you create the components independently, the AM also has to know, right, which components are created. And also the memory allocation will be done by the application module. So whatever the Vivos which we create, we have to move to the data model of AM. We have to move them to the we have to assign to the data model of the AM so that application module will assign a Vivo instance for it. Nothing but it will create, it will run at runtime it will allocate a memory for it. There is nothing but instantiation in the Java. Allocating memory is called instantiation. So it will create an instance name. So we will be referring to this particular name at run. Whenever we want to refer to this particular view, we just need to give this particular name. So just click on apply and OK. The next thing is in the web UI, let's create a page, new page, and what is the page name? Yeah, this one. I turn the employee page. Click on OK. New region. Okay. Now what we do? So we have to set the controller also. Right click here, set new controller. On the page, what we do is right click on the main region, create a new region, and I'll just set it as data region. And again, what you do is perform a right click on the data region, click on new region using a wizard. So now here the particular Vivo which we have used, it will generate the minimum 24 rows, right? As per the query we have written, it will generate 24 rows. To display that particular 24 rows in the OAF, we have a region called table. That's the only region which can display multiple rows. We just need to click on next now, and select the EM, select the Vivo, click on next, and here select the region style as table, and mention the region ID, click on next. Now it is asking us to mention what are the column you want to display in the output. I'll select person ID and employee number and email address, nationality, date of birth, marriage status, and business group party or look. It's okay. Yeah, these columns. Now click on next. and change all of them as to message file text. But because we want to display read-only page, we don't want to update any of the data, so we simply go with message file text. Next, that's it. So next thing is let's run the page. As of now, we have not read any coding. Let's run the page and see whether it works or not. And later on, we write the code. Right? So it is saying that if you observe carefully, it is saying that no such conductor. Here, the reason saying that no such conductor. It means that the underlying Vivo has not executed. The underlying Vivo is not yet executed. Until unless we execute, it will not display the data. But how do we execute or how do we initialize this? Using AM. So go to the AM and go to the am.impl.java here. And this is a Java file in which we have to write a new method now. We just need to write a new method called initialization method, public void initialize HRMS employee data Vivo. It can be any name. The name can be any name. So we have to mention the Vivo IMPL name, HRMS employee Vivo IMPL, and this is my object instance. Vivo is equal to get HRMS employee Vivo one, and just execute this method. Vivo.execute this. Now, what exactly happening here is when we create a Vivo, when we create our Vivo, it is also creating a IMPL file. When we created our Vivo, it created the XML file as well as IMPL file also. And this particular Java file, as we just saw that, when we assign the Vivo to the data model of the AM, it created an instance for it. It created an instance for it. So what was the instance? It was HRMS employee Vivo 1. If we control click on this one, so it will automatically show you what is the, what exactly it is. It created an instance called HRMS employee data Vivo 1. So we just need to get the instance and we have to perform the execution. Vivo.execute finished. It will execute this particular the Vivo. It is nothing but open operation on your cursor. It's similar to your open operation on the cursor. And we have to call this method from the CVO. So because CVO will not automatically call the A methods. We have to explicitly call the method which is available in the A. So we have to we have to call the A method from the process request of the CVO. So now I'm in the CVO now, HRMS employee CVO. So we want to display the data on the page load. We want to display the data on the page load. What I have to do is, in the process request method, I have to write the logic. So what is the A method? Because a method is available in different class, we have to create an object for it, then only we can call it as per the Java. So what I have to do, what is our aim name? Easy Business Services. AM is equal to, one more thing is we should not create the instance for AM now. But the thing is, when you run the page, automatically an instance for the AM is created. We just need to get that. So I just say page context dot get application modules. That the AM dot mention and maintaining. That's it. Now run the page. Now we go to the data, right? Right? So this is how it is. And it will display 24 rows, as I said. Sorry, 24. Yeah. So for today, these are the samples which we which we have created, and your assignment will be have to work on the same thing. So design the same pages and design try to design the pages to handle the button event, link event, hyperlink event, as well as design a page to display the employee. This particular Vivo data also. So better what we can do is we can go with a different set of query rather than the same query. You can go with a different query. Okay. So the next class what we do is we'll design a search pages, manual search as well as query beam search, manual as well as query beam. And after this, After this, we'll try to design our mini project. Okay. So for this mini project, like what you have to do is you have to come up with your data model and you have to come up with your business requirement. So like what is the thing I'm trying to tell you is, so in the mini project we'll try to cover the major OAF components like item, text input item, file text, feature region, file concept, attachment region, master detail, the entity object, Vivo object. So most of the functionality will cover as part of this particular mini project. So what you do is, like you try to work on a simple data model, nothing but it should involve not more than 3 tables, like a minimum 2 to maximum 4 tables, I can say. And the business requirement is like you have to design and then you have to come up with the requirement saying that like you will be having some set of pages like around 2 to 3 pages. Okay, so it should have the functionalities like search functionality, it should have the DML functionality, and it also have to have the like the lookups, the appropriate lookups for the purpose of status and attachments, and the partial page and then nothing but open the page in different modes, opening page in different modes. Okay. I will have my own
So
mini
you want
project.
this for when?
No, I will have my mini project and I will design accordingly.
Oh, you have your own.
Yeah, I will have my own. For the training, I will go with mine,
Okay.
and you have to parallelly have to work on this particular mini project as product and assignment.
Okay. You have more work than me then.
Sorry?
Right. So for practice and access, what do I do?
Yeah, Sanjay will provide all the details. Sanjay has to provide.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to work on this particular one, like because by next class I just require this one because you have to validate how exactly to I just need to confirm whether it's okay or whether you have to increase or whatever it is. I just need to validate your mini project. So based on that, we can design. So during the training, I will design my mini project and parallelly you have to work on your mini project also.
Okay.
So
Well,
this,
I'll do as much practice as I possibly can, and I will try to get ahead if I can.
yeah, you have to
I have
work
plenty of
on,
time this week. So
yeah,
I know I have to do the 3 things that you mentioned, and then
yeah,
uh,
right.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Mike, what we do is, we'll meet on next class. We'll meet on Wednesday. Okay, my Wednesday.
So Sridhar, do I expect an email with access or something from you?
For the access, yeah, Sanjay will provide. I'll ask Sanjay to provide all those details for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Sridhar.
Yeah.